organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, the dead are coming alive. Don't be spooked by the zombies lumbering around Iowa City this weekend. Details to come.
And we'll take a look at what the presidential candidates debated last night about your health care and the chances of you getting a job.
And in sports, see what UI athletes are already receiving national recognition on the pitch.
That's all coming your way next. Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Good evening and welcome to your Thursday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Muriel Kone.
And I'm Whitney Blakemore.
Governor Romney came out swinging in Wednesday's debate. According to a CNN poll, 67% of Americans think Mitt Romney won the debate compared to only 25% for President Obama. Both candidates spared over their vision for their country, and Daily Iowan TV reporter Ryan Jones and I took a closer look into what the candidates said about the issues of health care and the loss of jobs.
The candidates took the stage last night in their first presidential debate. The very first question was about job creation, showing just how important the issue is to Americans. Job growth has been slowed with unemployment staying above 8% nationwide. Governor Romney made it a point to attack the president that he is not doing enough to find Americans jobs. President Obama shot back, claiming that reducing taxes on the rich would never create more jobs and actually hurt job growth. Economics professor Becca Ingram at the University of Iowa says that we've tried these top-down policies in the past, and they have created job growth, but they come with a consequence.
We do know that when we lowered tax rates in the 1980s, it led to a decade of growth, but it also led to very large deficits. So the deficit grew tremendously during the 1980s. So we've tried these policies before.
But Becca Ingram warns us not to simplify these very complicated issues.
So I guess, the bottom line is economics is never as simple as one thinks it is. And it's very difficult in a debate like that to talk about all the nuances of economic policy. Most of the time an economist will say it depends.
Governor Romney and President Barack Obama are both unhappy with job growth. Now it's up to the people to decide who is more equipped to put Americans back to work. And now another hotly debated issue is health care. We turn now over to Muriel Kone for the fight over Obamacare.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Jobs was one of the major topics discussed last night at the presidential debate, but another burning question is health care. What the cost will be, who will pay for it, and Mitt Romney stood with his conviction to repeal Obamacare if elected, and President Obama also stood with his Affordable Care Act. However, I got to speak with some experts today to kind of get a little bit of a sense of what this will mean.
Even in the debate last night, Governor Romney was suggesting that certain aspects of the Affordable Care Act would remain in place regardless of whatever else is repealed.
But the individual mandate is a key part of the Affordable Care Act to get rid of the annual maximums and the pre-existing condition problems that we have right now.
And voters may have to wait till the next debate to find out some specifics on the Obamacare. Muriel Kone, Daily Iowan TV. The next presidential debate will be on October 16th. They will be in a town meeting format focusing on both domestic and foreign policy.
In other news, a former University of Iowa employee reached the end of the road today. A federal judge ruled UI President Sally Mason did not violate Mark Mills' rights by firing him in 2008. Mason fired Mills after the alleged sexual assault at Hillcrest Residence Hall on October 14, 2007. A St. Louis law firm found flaws in his actions. The UI's former general counsel, Mills, claimed he was improperly fired. However, the judge found Mason could fire Mills because he was an at-will employee who had few job protections. UI spokesman Tom Moore said The UI is pleased with the ruling because it supports its stance on this matter.
A recent study released by the University of Iowa shows a significant increase in people receiving knee surgeries. The author of the study said the increase comes from people aging and greater efficiency of the surgery. Peter Cram also said the increase comes from people having their surgeries redone because they wear out.
This weekend marks the second year of combining Iowa City's Brewfest tradition with Soda Fest to create Oktoberfest. The festival is scheduled for October 5th and 6th. There will be 14 local food vendors, live music, and events for the whole family. The event's host, Northside Marketplace, was organized to bring attention to the long history and commerce in the Northside area. Oktoberfest is one initiative to bring awareness to the north side of town.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, the University of Iowa is flying across the world to find students. We'll tell you where they've landed.
And in sports, Daily Iowan TV reporter Kate Constable takes you to the birthplace of Iowa football.
But first, the leaves are changing colors, a sign of fall. Students felt the chill walking to class today and broke out with their winter jackets. Let's check in with Dora Grote to see if this chilly weather is here to stay for the weekend. Dora?
Thanks, Muriel. Today was a chilly day here in Iowa City. After the first few days of beautiful fall weather, the cooler temps are finally setting in. Iowa City will start out tomorrow morning with some clouds, reaching about 48 degrees. You might want to grab your winter jacket and umbrella for the rest of the day because it will only reach a high of 53 degrees with a 10% chance of rain. The evening will end by dropping back to 48 degrees with a fairly clear sky. So be prepared to bundle up this weekend. Now let's look at the forecast for the next couple days. Saturday, the sun will pop out and will continue to shine the rest of the week. By Monday, the sunny skies will be in full effect as the high is expected to reach 67 degrees. Tuesday will heat up to 70, so you can leave those winter jackets at home. Although the fall season is here, summer is still staying with some warmer temps next week. That's all for weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Dora. You won't have to go to the Mon store to see a zombie lumbering around Iowa City this Saturday. The 7th annual Zombie March will be creeping around the streets, but not dead ends. Everyone is encouraged to dress up as a zombie and drag themselves from Happy Hollow Park on Brown Street to Governor, through the pedestrian mall, and end up at the Mill restaurant. The event is to raise awareness and make donations to the two local Iowa City charities, Table to Table and East Central Iowa Autism Society. The event starts at 5 p.m. and will wrap up by 10 p.m.
A former University of Iowa student turned national speaker is returning to campus Friday. Former UI student Zach Walls became a national name when a video of his testimony to the Iowa House Judiciary Committee arguing for equal marriage went viral. Walls grew up in Iowa City with two lesbian mothers, and since his breakout speech, he has continued advocating for gay rights. He's the author of My Two Moms, Lessons of Love, Strength, and What Makes a Family, to be published in 2012. He will speak at 8 p.m. in the Iowa Memorial Union with the book signing to follow.
The University of Iowa spent thousands to send President Sally Mason and other officials to Asia this summer to recruit students. The UI released the cost of the trip to China and Taiwan, totaling $130,000. Last year, the UI spent about $130,000 total for recruiting international students. Mason's trip was part of the UI's efforts to increase visibility in China.
Egyptian authorities on Thursday released two Coptic Christian boys taken into juvenile detention for allegedly urinating on the Quran. The Egyptian Initiative for Personal Rights said 17 cases of alleged contempt of religion have since been filed since January 2011 uprising. Police arrested the two boys Tuesday and took them to the nearby juvenile detention facility.
The Mexican government sent troops, federal police, and criminal investigators to the U.S.-Mexican border Thursday. These actions are following the assassination of the Mexican governor's nephew. 25-year-old Jose Morera was found shot to death Wednesday night across the border from Del Rio, Texas. The victim's father was the state's previous governor and was accused of mismanaging finances.
And now we'll go to Lauren Moss for an update on Hawkeye sports.
Hi guys, and welcome to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. We have a special show lined up for you today as our own Kate Constable will take you to the birthplace of Iowa football. But before we throw it to Kate, it's been announced that the University of Iowa soccer players Chloe LaSalle, Ashley Cartel, and Dana Dalrymple have all been named to TopDrawerSoccer.com's mid-season Big Ten Top 20 team. LaCasse has been sensational through the squad's first 14 games, coming in 6th nationally when it comes to goals scored. The sophomore out of Ontario has found the back of the net 11 times this season. Teammates Cottrell and Dalrymple have also turned in impressive early season performances for the Black and Gold, tallying 7 and 5 goals respectively. Now, 27 years ago, former Iowa head coach Hayden Fry had a decision to make. He was beloved in the Hawkeye State. They had the man of the Black and Gold, and he was a hero, and he won. Fry's success did not go unnoticed, and the University of Southern California took an interest in the Iowa head coach. The West Coast Giants offered a number of attractive figures, but perhaps the most important, a state-of-the-art practice facility. But the University of Iowa stepped up, matched USC's facilities, and got their hero back to the friendly confines of Kinnick Stadium for years to come. Nearly 3 decades later, the university faced the same problems. Outdated facilities meant falling behind nationally. How did the university respond to this? Daily Iowan TV's Kate Constable has the story.
Parking lot and an English building was once a football field. It was the field the Hawks played their first game on back in 1889. Today, this is where the Hawkeyes kick off every game day. But this transformation didn't happen overnight. In fact, it took 40 years and millions of dollars. The stadium, then named Iowa Field, opened play on the gridiron in 1929, and since then has undergone numerous changes. On September 23, 1972, the Hawkeyes said goodbye to Iowa Field and played their first game in Kinnick Stadium, which was named after Iowa's sole Heisman winner, Niall Kinnick. But soon after the naming of Kinnick Stadium came along a man named Hayden Fry. He was introduced to the Hawkeyes in December of 1978 and brought with him a new attitude and spark to the program. He led his team to the 1981 Rose Bowl, and suddenly the need for an indoor practice facility became apparent. The bubble went up 4 years later and helped Iowa prepare for postseason play indoors. Kirk Ferentz then took over the team in 1999 and continued building the Hawkeye program. Fast forward 13 years and looking at programs like top-notch SEC schools, the bubble just wasn't cutting it. The thought of building new practice facilities came into conversation when Coach Ferentz realized he was a bit behind in terms of continuing to be a competitive organization in both the Big Ten and nationally.
I probably should have been advocating for that longer, further back, because players are impressed by facilities, they're impressed by uniform changes. If we wore a different uniform every week, I think that would probably enhance our image with some players.
Now, instead of wearing different apparel each game, Ferentz decided it was time to do away with the bubble and launch Phase 1 of the new indoor practice facility. After months of construction, this is where the Hawks will spend their offseason. The multi-million-dollar project was generated entirely by private donations, making it the most expensive privately funded project in the history of Iowa athletics.
It's a first-class facility, and I actually don't mind going in there. I hated going in the other place, just I don't like being indoors necessarily if you don't have to, but we use it on a regular basis. We're in there on Sundays, we go in there on Fridays, and I don't mind going in there. It's really a beautiful building, and it's got air and all that stuff in there, so it's like air you can breathe, so it's really good.
But it's not just the gridiron where you can see changes. In 2011, the renovations of the hardwood at Iowa turned Carver Hawkeye Arena into a state-of-the-art building. Home to basketball, volleyball, and wrestling teams, Carver underwent a $47 million project that added practice gyms and a new strength room, constructed simply out of necessity. The building had not had any work done in 27 years after its opening in 1983. However, the changes that fans will see won't come in the form of hardwood or a bench press. The vision is that these expanded features will improve the overall strength of UI athletics, and in time, more people will come to the games, helping to create the atmosphere of old Iowa basketball. But this isn't all that Hawk fans will have to look forward to. Phase 2 of the football facility will add a lobby that will act as a Hall of Fame space for fans to continue admiring Hawkeye athletics. Kate Constable, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
All right, well, thanks so much for that, Kate. And well, that's all for us here in sports. Pregame will be back next week when the Hawkeyes set to take on the Spartans of Michigan State on the road at Spartan Stadium. And that's all for us in sports. Back to you at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Friday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about what a Harvard professor had to say in a lecture on affirmative action.
And read about a new movie theater and high-rise office building proposed for downtown Iowa City. That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out on Sunday at the same time or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.